Good morning. I call this session of the Public Service Commission to order. Madam Secretary, are there any changes to the final agenda?
There are no changes to the final agenda.
Thank you. Before moving to the agenda, I'd like to conduct a roll call of commissioners. When I call your name, please confirm that you are present. Commissioner Diane Berman.
Present.
Commissioner James Alisi. Present. Commissioner John Howard.
Present.
Commissioner Dave Valesky.
Present.
Commissioner John Majori. Thank you. So, as there are no items on the regular agenda today, we will move directly to the consent agenda. Do any commissioners wish to comment on or recuse from voting on any of the items on today's consent agenda? I'll begin with Commissioner Berman.
I have no comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Alisi.
I have no comments or questions, and I'll be supporting the entire consent agenda.
Thank you. Commissioner Howard.
Yes, just one brief comment on item 262, the pending Central Hudson management audit. At no time in this company's history is this audit more important. We've seen a lot of failures, and I think we will need the sharpest of pencils when we do this audit and review it very thoroughly. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Valesky.
No comments.
Thank you. And Commissioner Majori? Thank you very much. I will now do a call for a vote. My vote is in favor of the recommendations on the consent agenda. Commissioner Berman, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Alisi?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Valesky?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Majori? Thank you. The items are approved and the recommendations are adopted. Madam Secretary, is there anything further to come before us today?
Sorry. There's nothing further agenda-wise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with that, the Commission's regulatory agenda for today's session is now concluded. And at this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize Commissioner Berman, and I have a prepared statement I'd like to read. Oh, we should adjourn. No, not yet. Okay, sorry. Say it again. Correct. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So I think we all know today we're here to honor an individual whose unwavering dedication to public service has left an indelible mark on the energy sector, not only in New York State, but across the United States. As we bid farewell to Commissioner Diane Berman, it's important to reflect not just on the roles she's had or the various accomplishments she's made throughout her career, but on the profound impact they've had on ensuring reliable and safe energy for all. For nearly 3 decades, Diane has helped to shape the direction of the energy sector. Her steadfast commitment to ensuring that New Yorkers have access to uninterrupted energy services has been nothing short of remarkable and uniquely long-lived. In an industry where reliability is paramount, Diane has been a guiding force, tirelessly working behind the scenes to ensure that the lights stay on and that the gas flows, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Her unwavering focus on safety has been a cornerstone of her tenure. She's long understood that safety isn't just a box to be checked. It's a fundamental principle that underpins the day-to-day operations of our energy systems. And that by prioritizing safety at every turn, Diane has not only ensured the well-being of countless workers, but has also bolstered the reliability of the system and our confidence in it. But Diane's efforts go well beyond just shaping the energy landscape that we all rely on. Her strength, her leadership, her mentorship, all combined with her focus on efforts related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, have helped support the careers of countless individuals, I count myself among them, and expanded the number of women in leadership positions both within DPS and elsewhere. As we look to the future, we can take comfort in knowing that the foundation Diane has helped to establish will continue to support our energy systems for years to come. So, as we bid farewell to Diane, I want to express my personal gratitude for your years of service, and I want to take inspiration by your example. So Diane, thank you, and I look forward to seeing your next steps. Your time here has been well spent. Thank you. Now I know some commissioners have a few things they'd like to say. We'll start with Commissioner Elise.
Diane, I know this may be hard for you to understand, but I'll be brief. When I saw you earlier in your office, we had the chance to say a few words and remarked on our years serving together, not just here on the commission, but when you were chief counsel over in the Senate, and the attributes that I would describe about your time there, I could transfer to the commission very easily. You are a remarkable person, and you know, I personally benefited and still benefit from knowing you not only in a professional way, but as a personal friend too. And although we live miles apart, the things that you do as a friend and the things that you do as a commissioner come together in one, and it's really something that is remarkable, because very, very few people get to transfer that friendship and professional relationship and make it work. And from the very first days of my knowing you across the way there, I knew that you were dedicated, devoted, you cared about others, and whatever the mission, you were not only a leader, but you were always at the back of the pack, pushing people forward. And good things don't happen without that kind of effort. And the good things that have happened here and the good things that will continue to happen even in your absence, by and large, are going to be the byproduct of your having been here. So I wish you all the best. I hope we'll stay in touch. And if there is ever anything that you need, just never hesitate to call. Don't call collect, though.
Thank you. Commissioner Howard.
You know, we all seven of us had very different paths, well, now six of us, paths to get here. I sort of use the Yankees, Red Sox analogy. Diane and I played on different teams for a long, long time. Very hard and high and inside every pitch. But when I got here, the kindness and personal generosity was just overwhelming, to the point of any time I had a question about anything, and some were pretty ridiculous, she was there and kind and answered them. We don't always agree on stuff, but she plays the game hard every day and will continue to. And we will miss you. Well, we won't really miss you because we'll still be in touch, but we will miss this setting very, very much. And I can't tell you how much you have done for me personally. So thank you.
Commissioner Valesky.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I just want to say, maybe some others here in the room thought the same thing, but you can't imagine the shock that I felt when the chair called on Commissioner Berman for comments on the consent agenda, and she had none. So that tells me we are in for one heck of a farewell address in a little bit, I have a feeling. Diane, you and I have done public service for a very long time. And there are lots of reasons why people get into public service and do public service. But I think the best public servants are those who do the work not expecting plaques on the wall, not expecting pats on the back, not expecting any form of accolade other than to know that you're serving the public. And for you here, and I, as Senator Alisi said earlier, the three of us share a bond with each other that goes long before this place. But I'll save that for another day. But here, we come here, all of us come here, with the mission of the commission, first and foremost, the safe, reliable delivery of energy at just and reasonable rates. And when I think of that mission, and I think of how you have carried out that mission, not only every month at session, but in all the time in between sessions, in terms of how orders are improved, enhanced, before they even get to this room for a vote. The reality is, the people who will most miss you are the millions of ratepayers across the state of New York. 99.999% of them have no idea who Commissioner Diane Berman is, and they have no idea the work that you have done on their behalf. Those are the people who will miss your contributions here the most. Thank you.
Commissioner Major.
Thank you. So I was nominated to the commission a little less than 3 years ago, and as soon as I started binge listening to older sessions, which are all available online. And my initial reaction in my head to Commissioner Berman's comments were, what is she talking about? But as I listened more carefully, that became part of my education and my orientation for the work that we would subsequently do together. Now, as we were the last few days, I was thinking about what am I going to say about Diane, and I was thinking about what are the words that come to mind to me when I think of Diane. And the first one is one that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who pays attention to the commission, which is that she's knowledgeable. That's not a surprise. But what's not necessarily evident if you just watch the sessions, because our personal qualities don't necessarily come out, is that Diane is tremendously friendly and collegial person. And I've enjoyed becoming friends with you, Diane. And I will miss your collegiality, which I value tremendously. So, we're just down the road. We're not far. I hope to see you. I don't know exactly where you live, but I'm under the impression you live near the Snowman. So whenever you want to go for ice cream, just let me know. I'm there. And you will be missed here. Beyond that, we leave today as colleagues, but I hope we go forward as friends. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Now, I know some staff have a few things to say, and I'd like to start with Tammy Mitchell.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Commissioner Berman. I'd like to start by thanking you for your dedication as a commissioner of the Public Service Commission. You've served on the commission for more than a decade. In my time at the department, which has been a long time now, there have been many commissioners that have sat on that dais, but your tenure has been much longer than most. This, I believe, is due to the value that you've brought to the position and your resilience. Throughout your time on the commission and at the department, you have been the epitome of a public servant. You have worked tirelessly to protect the interest of New York State ratepayers, in particular as a champion for safety, reliability, and affordability of utility services for all New Yorkers. In rate case deliberations, you've endeavored to strike a balance between meeting the state's climate goals while ensuring the safety and reliability of New York's electric, gas, and steam systems through needed investments in those systems. and we cannot forget your tireless devotion to calling attention to safe excavation practices. You never missed an opportunity to mention Safe Digging Month, which is April, and National 811 Day, August 11th, of course, all in an effort to protect New York's underground infrastructure and keep construction workers, contractors, residents, and the public safe anytime digging is done on public or private property. During your tenure as commissioner, you served as a board member and on numerous committees and task forces of the National Association of Regulatory Commissioners, or NARUC. I'll not name all of them, but they have included the Committee on Gas, where you served as chair, the Special Committee on Pipeline Safety, the Committee on Critical Infrastructure, and you served as chair of the NARUC Department of Energy Natural Gas Partnership Initiative. Through your work at NARUC, you brought awareness to issues related to the transportation, distribution, and sale of natural gas, and helped to develop solutions that ensured the safety of the gas system. You have also served as the vice chair of the U.S. Department of Transportation Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, or PHMSA's, Gas Pipeline Advisory Committee and Voluntary Information Sharing Working Group. In those roles, you represented New York on committees with an eye on the ability of New York's local distribution companies to comply with the proposed federal regulations, with consideration of the impacts to New York state ratepayers, and improving information sharing for the purpose of improving gas transmission and hazardous liquid pipeline facility integrity risk analysis. Here again, and importantly, you were an advocate for the safety, reliability, and affordability of utility services for New Yorkers. On behalf of the staff team that is responsible for ensuring utility system safety and reliability, I want to thank you, Commissioner Berman, for your work and for your laser focus on the reliability and safety of our utility systems. Beyond your work as a commissioner, you have generously volunteered your time to serve as a mentor to your colleagues in the department and beyond. In addition to participating in the department's own mentorship program, you have helped Women in Communications and Energy, WICE, to launch a mentoring program and have mentored countless others in the utility field. You have frequently spoken at events for WICE and other professional associations, promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the utility sector. You are also a member of the department's DEI committee and have held leadership roles in diversity initiatives with NARUC, the United States Agency for International Development, and the Women's Energy Network, and more. You have also been supportive of staff of the department in other ways. You go out of your way to recognize staff for their hard work at session and to reach out to staff outside of session to personally thank them. I know I can safely speak for others when I say your support and advice for young professionals in the industry and for staff of the department has been welcomed and appreciated. Finally, I want to say a few words on a personal level. Diane, you and I have worked together since the early 2000s, I believe. It's hard to believe it's been that long since we first met. We began working closely together when we both took on the newly created role as assistants to the commissioners. It was then that I got to know the person Diane Berman is. You were not only devoted to the mission of the department, you did your job with passion and integrity. You have been a steadfast advocate for transparency and education, for the commissioners and for the public. And behind the scenes, you have shown your deep appreciation for DPS staff, always congratulating staff on their hard work, providing advice, and supporting promotions. And that includes me. Diane, I want to personally thank you for always supporting me, both professionally and personally. You have been my mentor and my friend, and I'm grateful for that. On behalf of the Department of Public Service staff, I thank you and wish you the best in the next chapter of your life. I'm sure whatever you choose to do, you will be successful, and even more so, you will make a significant and positive impact, as you have during your time at the department and on the Public Service Commission. Best wishes.
Thank you, Tammy. And Tom, I believe you have a few things to say as well.
Thank you, Chair Christian, for allowing me to say a few words to congratulate and thank Commissioner Berman for her dedicated service. I'm Tom Congdon, the Executive Deputy of the Department, and I have worked with or near Commissioner Berman for many years, going as far back as the Spitzer-Patterson administrations. We worked out several energy policy matters when she was counsel to the New York State Senate, and I was in the governor's office, and we worked much more closely together ever since I joined the department nearly 10 years ago. I want to take this moment to give voice to many external stakeholders who have admired Commissioner Berman's work. Just go to her LinkedIn account and see her post about departing the commission. You'll see, by my last count, more than 130 glowing comments from a who's who in energy and utility policy. And the commenters are from New York and across the country. Many commenters noted your steadfast commitment to safety and reliability. So I reached out to Richard Dewey, the president and CEO of the New York Independent System Operator, to ask him to share his thoughts about your departure, and he offered the following for the record today. On behalf of the NISO, I express my thanks and admiration to Commissioner Berman for her dedicated years of service on the PSC. She always asked the tough questions and challenged us to work harder to balance system reliability with consumer costs and practical decarbonization strategies. I could always count on Diane to probe the reliability issues with a particular blend of curiosity and pragmatism. Her straightforward and frank approach will be missed, and her legacy is a stronger, smarter grid. I wholeheartedly agree with Rich Dewey's assessment, and I want to assure you, Commissioner Berman, and I want to assure our viewing audience, that under Chair Christian's leadership and continued work of our extremely talented staff, we will never waver from the department's mission to ensure safe and reliable utility services. Many of the other commenters to Commissioner Berman's announcement noted their appreciation for her courage to candidly and vocally express her point of view. To borrow one of Commissioner Berman's favorite phrases, I want to drill down on that a little bit. Over the many years that we've worked together, we've had many disagreements. The dedicated staff of the department are passionate. I am passionate. We all work extremely hard, and from that hard work arrive at what we believe is the best possible outcome for New Yorkers. That work typically materializes in an order that must be viewed and judged by the independent commission. During the commissioner briefings, your passion and your hard work matched that of staff. If there was ever a weakness in a draft order, you'd find it. And we'd try to address it. Sometimes that would earn your vote, and sometimes it wouldn't. Disagreements are often very uncomfortable. But, in a democracy, it's essential to grapple with and thoughtfully consider different points of view in order to arrive at good decisions. And you reliably provided us with alternate points of view every single session you were a commissioner. And that usually resulted in a much better final work product, even if you were still a no vote. So thank you. You've earned the respect that you are seeing on LinkedIn and elsewhere. And I want to say congratulations on 2 successful commission terms. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Now with that, Commissioner Berman, would you like to say anything?
Thank you for the far too generous words. I'm almost at a loss for words, but just almost. It is Pi Day, so if I did an infinity speech, no one could fault me on that. However, I looked back at some of the prior sessions and realized that if you strung them all together, it might be infinity. So my remarks are relatively short for me, but I've enjoyed nearly 28 years in public service. Over half of that was with the New York State Public Service Commission and the Department of Public Service. This is a very bittersweet day for me. I'm very grateful to several public officials for supporting my nomination and confirmation twice to the Public Service Commission. They are Governor Cuomo, former Senate Majority Leaders Skelos and Flanagan, and Majority Leader Stewart Cousins. I'm truly glad I had the opportunity to serve under our first female governor, Governor Hochul. I'm particularly thankful for Governor Pataki's legacy in linking energy and environmental issues to the importance of a thriving economy. I appreciate being able to share some final substantive thoughts as a sitting commissioner today. To effectively carry out the oath of office I took as a commissioner, I had to fully live and breathe being a state energy regulator, dedicated to carrying out my role honestly and with integrity, trying always to do the best job that I could for the ratepayers of the state of New York. Now, any lengthy public service career in the energy sector will inevitably be interspersed by crisis events. Jody Lane stray voltage death, August 2003 blackout, Superstorm Sandy, polar vortexes, East Harlem explosion, near reliability failure 2022 Christmas Eve weekend, and the list goes on. These crisis events are the ultimate learning experiences. They are the challenging moments where the window of opportunity is significant and the opportunity for continuous improvement greatest. I believe so much of my true understanding of the energy regulatory landscape was shaped from these events. In truth, our state is at a pivotal crossroads in our energy future. Concerns center around the reliability of our energy system, energy affordability, and how to properly incorporate necessary energy supply like gas, hydrogen, and nuclear. The Commission, when at full strength, is a small but mighty seven. Each of us likely agree with the need to address these concerns, though we each may differ to some degree on exactly how to address them. It is important to take stock of what we are trying to accomplish, what we need to achieve our goals, how to assess our successes and failures, and most importantly, where we may need to pivot or course correct. We must carry out our fiduciary responsibilities to the ratepayers with a focus on balancing reliability, environmental sustainability, and properly meeting the needs and demands of all energy consumers. The practical implementation of our energy regulation, both procedurally and substantively, must continue to uphold the underlying integrity and strength of the regulatory process. Access to safe, reliable, and affordable energy represents in any community the critical foundation to well-being. Responsible energy regulation is not just about encouraging the continued growth of our state's economy, as important as that is, nor can it only be about racing to meet unforgiving timelines and aspirational goals of the CLCPA and other well-meaning legislation. Instead, the evolving role for energy regulators is an all-hands-on approach focused on an openness to truly understand the nature of their vulnerabilities and overall risks faced in this energy transition. This can lead to more viable, innovative solutions considered and ultimately a more responsible approach undertaken. The importance we place on proper energy planning and prudent energy decision-making is a fundamental feature of our regulatory obligations. Our focus on reliability and affordability must remain the starting point and the ending point in any discussion about our energy system. In short, we need to continue to prioritize responsible energy laws and regulations. I've now talked for far too long, but probably the shortest ever, and thank you for your patience as I wrap up. Yes, I am leaving before the work is truly complete, but it is time for me to do so. I leave it to others to judge my personal contribution and decide how best to incorporate it into the next chapter at the Commission. I have every confidence in my successor and wish her good luck. I can promise her only one thing. She will be telling her family and friends about this pivotal crossroads moment in New York PSC history, and more importantly, she can be part of writing its next chapter. As a public servant, this is as good as it gets. My main advice to her is always to be guided by her principles, for it is these principles that will see her, the commission, and the department through always. To all my fellow commissioners and staff, thank you, truly thank you. I bid you farewell and wish you good fortune in your continued service to the commission and the department. Continue to be true to your oath and duty as public servants, and be true to sound regulatory process, analysis, and decision-making. Lastly, I want to thank my family. Without the love and support of my husband of over 31 years and 2 wonderful sons, I could not have so willingly and happily been a commissioner. And with that, I wish you all and everyone in New York good health, happiness, and success. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we adjourn. Thank you, everyone.